we are again. Triple R Studios, Ray's record room, and the great man is right next to me here.
Welcome, everyone.
that?
I love it. How's that?
And down the far end of the table, my big Roy Whitney.
Dorsey, how you going? Ahmund?
Oh, how are you, buddy?
Oh, well, haven't we got a very special guest today?
It's early for us, isn't it, having this potty, but it's going to be worth it, isn't it, after my investigations?
Yes, it is, but do I look angry about having to drive from the eastern suburbs
Well,
at this time of the morning?
I get that dirty look from you.
I give you service as soon as I walked into Triple R Studios. I went, was it? And then we all agreed that we're here for our special guest.
Well, let me just say first, Ray, you offered me a beer and it was like 9:30 and I was thinking about it.
I thought about it.
You've been here since 6.
All right, we're now over to you, as you always do, and introduce our next very special guest.
Well, I was aware of this dude probably back end of the 80s, I suppose, early 90s. You young lad running around playing some rep cricket under 18s or 19s or 21s or something like that. And your younger brother had a bit of a rep too. He was sort of kicking a bit of ass. So, famous family, but you led the way.
Thanks, Whit.
You led the way, Shano.
Are you sucking up to him?
No, I'm not sucking up to him because I actually got to play with Shano in my sort of full last season and the start of the next season. I think 92-3.
Yeah, 91, 92.
Hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Shane Lee. All right. How's that? Nearly forgot Shano.
That's all right, mate. Straight into it.
So, yeah, my last was 93-4, but I didn't play much. I injured my knee for the 57,000th time. And 92-3 was pretty much your launching year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Young, fresh.
A long time ago now, Whit. I turned 50 last year.
Oh, dude. Stab me in the heart.
Yeah, 50 years old. And the reason I'm up so early this morning, I got young kids. I've been up for 5 hours, so I need a beer.
Yeah, I've done that shit. Mine are 30 soon. Good. You've done it too, Ray.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the start.
Yep.
Oak Flats. So, Shell Harbour,
Yeah,
to give people a bit of an idea of where you were.
I went to Oak Flats High School, which is not far from Shell Harbour. It's about a 10-minute drive for good surf beach, actually.
Yep.
And my dad worked at the steelworks.
Yep.
At Port Kembla, was a metallurgist, worked night shift his whole life, and geez, he worked hard, the old man. We'd basically come over after a 16-hour shift, and we'd be waiting there with our cricket bags to go to the cricket net. So my brother Brett obviously did very, very well, test cricket, great fast bowler, and my younger brother Grant, who we called Dud. Didn't quite make it, but no, Grant was he was a dux of the school. He's a concert pianist.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you?
Good
I
musician.
think you or Binger told me. I'm not sure whether it was you or Binger told me he was really gifted as a sportsman and a cricketer as well.
No, he
was
was
the best.
Well, he was. He was an all-rounder like myself. And it was funny because he played New South Wales 17s and 19s. And I remember, because he used to field in the backyard the whole day. Brett would bowl the long run and the long driveway. I would bat. I think my high score was 432 in the backyard. And Paul Grant had the field, so no wonder he decided to retire at 19.
Was it like I'm presuming the Lee brothers competition? We've heard stories about the Waugh brothers getting in the backyard and not punching on, but playing very competitive, yeah?
Yeah, very competitive. It's funny, the Boston Consultancy Group often they used to have this unofficial employment policy where they often employ the second male sibling in a family. The older brother would often lead the way, sort of break down the barriers, and he'd be really tough on the younger brother. And I was definitely tough on Brett, and that's what really toughened him up, I reckon.
Yeah, go. You get all the kudos.
I did, yes.
What's he say now about Shane, oh arsehole?
Good on
It's
you,
too
man.
tough on me. No, well, you both had amazing careers. But Grant gave it away, or?
He did.
Did you say he's a concert pianist now?
Well, he's got to level 9 or whatever.
Man.
But
we'll get to the music soon. That's another
But he's
story.
also a chartered accountant, works at the Commonwealth Bank. He's a talented boy. But yeah, I remember at the age of 19, he just wasn't enjoying it. And I said, you don't have to play because your two older brothers play.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying he was going to be the best. And look, he may have been. But as you would know, Whit, if your heart's not in it, that's the biggest part, right? It's a mind game. Any sport, but particularly cricket, because you do it for so bloody long.
Was he playing first grade up in Sydney, or was he?
Yeah, he was on the verge of playing first grade, which was close. So it would have been nice to have all three Lee boys in one first grade.
Was it Mossman? You were all
at Mossman. Yeah. We went from Campbelltown to Mossman, and Yeah, but it was the right decision for him, and he has no regrets.
I want to ask you about Oak Flats. What was it like growing up in Oak Flats? It certainly changed a lot now. I mean, my sister's been in Berry with her family for 35 years. Wow, hasn't that changed?
Yeah. Mum and Dad are still down there. They're near Jamboree on like a little hobby farm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
We're down there for Easter, which is beautiful. But it's Oak Flats High School had enough. When I started there in year 7, it had enough spots in the school for 700 kids. And by the time I was in year 9, there was 2,000 kids there.
Wow.
So I spent my formative years in demountables. Basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was a tough school. It was because of the steelworks. There's a lot of Yugoslavs there. We call Yugoslavs the Serbians and the Croats and that sort of stuff.
Yugos.
Yeah, the Yugos. And just up the road, Dapto was a real big football school. So rugby league, Group 7 was our area.
Tough. Yeah.
And so soccer and football growing up were the sports. And luckily enough, I was good enough at cricket because I was too scared to play that rugby league game.
I love me.
So did you go to the Dogs, the Dapto Dogs? Very famous.
Dapto Dogs used to go and watch the Illawarra Steelers. Come on,
the
bloody
Steelers.
Wollongong.
Yeah.
Skifanelli, Pincinelli, the Spaghetti Brothers.
Yeah.
Riolo, Wishart, Try.
Absolutely. That Skiffaletti was a great player.
He was,
mate.
Yeah.
At what age did you realise that you sort of had some sort of talent for cricket and you could take it further? And
I was captain of the Oak Flats first 11 when I was in year 8.
And everyone else was 14.
Yeah, no.
14 years old.
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 14, yeah.
So that was 17.
Say that again. You were captaining the Oak Flats first grade side.
No, the school team.
School team at 14.
14, and when I was 15, we won the Alan Davidson Shield, which was 300.
Davo.
Yeah, Alan Davidson Shield, what a legend. There were 360 odd CHS schools.
wow.
We won that. Then we took on the private school boys.
Did you win that on your own, or you had some other good players?
We did. I was a big part of it, but we had a guy called Graham Smith who played first grade for
St George.
no, not that Graham Smith. The other Graham Smith played for Bankstown.
Oh, yes.
But we had a guy called Kerry Penfold who had one eye. Scored 7 first grade hundreds. One against McGrath with one eye.
Imagine if you had two.
Yeah.
If you had two, I'd be double centuries.
He's calling Popeye.
That's really Pop. Don't because
Sorry, I don't
no,
mean.
I had 2 eyes and I was a really shit batsman. So that's bagging me big time. That dude got 7 first grade centuries with one eye.
Yeah, and it was his left hander, and it was his back eye. He could line the ball up with his nose. So, but yeah, he smashed McGrath one day at Caringbah.
Fuck, I'm really embarrassed about my batting now.
Kerry
That
Penfold,
story's come
very
out.
good player.
No, it's not that bad, mate.
I played golf yesterday, mate.
Did you? How was that?
You said you were okay as a youngster batting, though.
Yeah.
You said you were
as
all
a
right.
youngster,
Yeah.
and then you start getting a bit pacey, you know. I thought to medium paces and that my technique was quite good, and then in 1981 I was playing a bit of county cricket and I had to face Michael Holding at Old Trafford in a county. Well,
Tell that story again, like the one you went straight past your head, I believe, the ball, yeah? No helmet?
Great
no
story.
helmet, Shona. It was a county game. I went to grab the helmet, and this is 81.
Don't be a wimp.
So, you know, the pads were the best, but they weren't that good. And, the thigh guard in those
it's a bit of
days was
paper.
fucking tissue down your side. The box was the same. No arm guards in those days, no chest guards. And I went to grab the helmet, and Stuart Broad's old man, Chris Broad, I was playing county cricket with him. He went, "You're not taking the helmet out, are you?" Like, Michael's hit 2 blokes in the head already. Andy Stovall, our wicketkeeper's in hospital. And I looked at the helmet and they went, "Well, Tony Gregg's like the only one that wears the helmet all the time." So I left the helmet in the dressing room because I didn't want to be grouped in with Greggy.
He had a fucking motorbike helmet on.
He did.
They should give that
did.
helmet to Will
SP.
Polsky.
He couldn't hold his head up.
So I go out there and Michael's got 5 for 60 and 3/4 of those were through the slips and French cuts. And I can't remember. Alistair Hignall, who'd also played for England in the rugby union as a number 10. So he'd represent.
Sounds of blue blood.
He was about 60 not out of 120. And I've got a centre. I'm looking for Michael. Fuck, where is he? And because he was a West Indian in whites against the sight screen, I could just fucking see him. And he came in.
Love it.
He came in and I lifted
Is that racial verification?
No, I've told him that story. I've said to Michael, the only way I saw you, man, was that you were a West Indian dressed in whites against the sight screen.
Yeah.
He came in and I'm thinking, get it up. I thought, fuck, did he actually fucking bowl that? Or what? And it had gone through. Looked around and it's gully already. And then that, the shadow. You got the good guy on the right shoulder and the bad one on the left, and the bad one's going, run away!
Get the fuck out of there.
And my next delivery, my back foot's going. And he bowls this Yorker, middle and leg stump out of the ground. Outwardly, you show absolute distress. Inwardly, you're going, you beauty. I'm taking it alive! Unscathed and walking off. I said to Michael, he's walking next to me. I looked up, I went, fuck, I'm glad you didn't bowl that first one at my head. He went, me too, Witters. 2 hit in the head in one day is enough.
How tall was he, Whit?
Oh, 6'3", 6'4", but just
he glided in.
mate.
Yeah,
and
whispering death. Yeah,
that's all. That was the sound.
yeah.
Wow.
I love that sound.
Look at the hairs on my arms.
Yeah. So he ruined me that day. He ruined my whole batting thing of idea, except when I got to Richard Hadley and blocked him out. I just thought I'd throw that one.
That's right. Yeah.
And when you hit Joel Garner for 4 in the commercial as well. Yeah.
That was done with mirrors and don't tell anyone. Extra cameras.
How do you feel?
How do you feel? Every now and again someone walks past you and they go, how do you feel? I go, okay, it's a long time ago, brother. 1981. All right, back on. Where were we?
Back to you, Shannon. Yeah, so grade cricket from school cricket. Campbelltown was your first grade side.
Yeah, I played Green Shield for Campbelltown. Had a really, really good season. And an old guy passed away a few years ago, Noel Lemming, was the...
Yeah, what a legend.
Yeah, a bit of a legend of Campbelltown cricket. Said to my dad, we want to start Shane at 15 next year in first grade.
Wow.
St George were pushing really hard to get me there, but they wanted to start me in second grade. And Dad said, mate, I reckon you might end up second grade for a few years. Go to Campbelltown, get a good go. And Dad was right. And within 2 years, I was in the state squad.
So you played first grade at, what, 15?
15, yeah.
Wow.
So your dad knew something about cricket? Was your dad a cricketer?
Did your dad play?
No, Dad never played. Dad was really, ask him now, he's played about 150 tests, I reckon.
He just worked all the time, didn't he?
No, he did that. But Dad was really, Mum was a good runner, good athlete. My granddad on Mum's side was a very good tennis player, played at White City.
Yeah.
But Dad was really, really big on the mental side of the game. I'd never give a sucker and even break, right? Put your foot in your throat and fucking choke him out if you can, right?
Is he related to Len Pascoe, your dad? I learned off Len, don't worry.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot about the game, and like we had to train harder and do more, and yeah, you couldn't get in the piss, and that's all with the old man, so he had to be pretty good.
How was it going into first grade at 15? I mean, it's
intimidating. I remember my first game at North Sydney Oval. We had a big West Indian fast bowler called Ken McLeod.
Yeah, good quick. He was sharp
he
too.
Was quick, yeah.
He was.
He had a pea heart, but he was super quick.
Didn't he end up playing in the ACT?
He did.
Yeah.
I think he's still down there now.
Yep,
Married a local girl.
Yep.
And opening bowling the other room was a guy called Chris Killen, who you would have probably played against.
Yeah, I know
Shield
Chris
Creek.
Killen.
Yeah,
Yep.
Killer.
Yep.
So I bowled first change, but I remember being at third slip, North Sydney Oval, never been that far back in my life. It was like you're on the
On the fence,
circle,
yeah.
At 15. Wow.
And there was a guy called they called him Radar, Peter O'Reilly.
Yep. Radar O'Reilly, that's
Radar
right.
O'Reilly. Yeah, he was fielding a second slip, and second ball of the game, Nick. I was a third slip. He dived in front of me and took the catch, and I thought, "Fuck, this is too good for me." I've never seen a ball go so quick. But then I came in to bowl. My first ball in first grade, I bowled to Trevor Chappell, and I yorked him and bowled him.
Wow.
You didn't bowl underarm to him.
No, I didn't. And then I got a wicket second ball, so I was on a hat trick. I remember walking back thinking, "Oh,
How easy is this? Fucking.
I got a hat trick my first game." Ended up with 2 for the match, but
As a 15-year-old with the sledging and stuff, did the guys go easy on you, or they doubled down, or what was it like?
no, my second game was at Petersham Oval at the toilet.
Against Petersham Marrickville.
Against
See,
Petersham,
I wasn't
yes,
involved,
that's
and I was a
right.
Randwick boy then.
And they had a guy called Graham Hughes. And I was 15. I was feeling pretty good about my first grade.
As a
debut.
footballer, wasn't it?
Football
Graham?
and
Yeah.
cricketer.
Yeah.
Graham played
Yeah,
cricket
that's
for
right.
New South
For New-
Wales
I
as
know,
well. Yeah, he's
yeah.
a wonderful
Yeah.
player.
And I remember him warming up, and he's saying really loud so we could hear, fuck, I haven't had a fucking hit in fucking 6 weeks, right? Haven't had a bat in 6 weeks. And he came at the bat, and I had a couple of wickets. And he made a beeline to me. He had it was like a business shirt on, a white business shirt that was untucked. And he walked out to bat. I'm thinking, what's going on here? And he said, I'm going to fucking smash you, son. and he ran at me and, like, first ball, like, I was bowling quick then. And he sort of got it over mid-wicket for a couple of runs. And he proceeded to, like, smash me for 3 or 4 fours and say I was fucking shit and no good, right? And then the Campbelltown boys sort of came in like a pack on him and said, like, take it easy, and this young kid's going to be all right. And I said, fuck up. No, you don't need to defend me, right?
Yeah, good on you, man.
You're 15.
Yeah, 15, but he didn't take it easy. I mean, he got 60.
Did you give it back, like, or did you stunned it?
No,
That was like,
I told him years later. Brought the story up. He said, I didn't do that. I said, mate, you did. I was 15. I remember it like it was yesterday.
They would have been jealous, really. They would have said, what's a 15-year-old kid playing first grade?
But
like really?
That's the way you want it. You don't want to come in and it be too easy. Like, that's how you learn. And
They would have said, like, oh, fucking we playing schoolboy fucking cricket here. What's up? You still wrapping your pads around your bat.
That's right.
The under-12s is over there, mate.
They give it to you, right?
And I got to say, that Petersham and Marrickville side would have had Brian Ryan on made some really old, hard-on heads.
Hard on?
Hard. Ironed on, hard on head. Yeah. But really tough team to play, particularly at Petersham Oval. That was their home ground, the toilet bowl, and that was very aggressive. And like Riles and that, they fucking sledge you from first ball to last ball of the day.
Well, Brian Riley, the famous sledge, he was Petersham Oval. Tony Gregg was out here playing for Waverley, and he walked out to bat, Tony Gregg, and Brian Riley said, who the fuck's this bloke, right? And he apparently played and missed 3 times, and they said, Bronco de Jura said, I think he's from Sussex.
Another leaguey.
And he goes, it must be fucking Sussex Inlet.
Mate, Bronco was very close to playing Sheffield Shield cricket as well.
Remember, he was tossing up, wasn't he?
Mate, he was an outstanding wicketkeeper and batsman. He could bat as well, and a gun rugby league player.
Yeah. So at 15, you would have, that was 1988, 89, late 80s at that stage.
So 89,
Yeah, wow, that's huge.
When did you, what game did you walk off? Was it those first couple of games and you thought, I can mix it with these blokes? Or
it was probably about the 3rd or 4th game. I thought, I was batting sort of 9, 10.
I was going to ask you where they were batting.
I was sort of tallish and very skinny then, believe it or not. And but my batting, I wasn't strong enough to hit the ball, so I was sort of batting 9. But then once I made the state squad, they said if I start the season well, I'm a chance to potentially play that season. And I remember you came up to me with you calling me Garfield. I took 7 for 50 and scored 150 not out.
Yeah. And Garfield Sobers is a right trainer. Right.
Yeah, so that was
big rap.
That was a good start of the season. But I'm a bit of a carrot, not a.
Can I go back to? I played a fair bit of cricket, backyard cricket.
Bad lane.
I used to have all the boys over. It was pretty good. Your backyard cricket. Did you have all the electric wicky? Did you?
Yeah, we did.
Did you have neighbours come over and play and?
We did.
Smash any windows.
Yeah, no. A guy wrote a book. I can't remember his name. He wrote a book years ago saying that the way that your backyard is pretty much sets up the way that you play, and that was so true for us. So we had a super long driveway.
Yeah,
that was great for Brett's long run up.
There you go.
So if I'm batting this way, the fence was there, so I never played many cut shots.
Yeah.
There was a big gap on the leg side where Grant used to field, so that's where I hit the ball.
That is beautiful.
Or you could hit the ball straight. So that was every afternoon from pretty much you got home from school at 3:25 and we played till it was dark every day.
Yeah.
Till Mum said, "Get dinner time," and then after dinner, daylight saving, punched on again.
Go and have 2 dry rissoles and some some mashed potato and beans. And, you're a good cook, Mum. You're a good cook.
It's great. Yeah.
I'll ask you, with Shane going to the New South Wales side, when he got into the side, did you know much about him at the time, or he just turned up and you thought, who's this?
No, we'd heard about this young bloke from down the coast. I didn't actually realise that you'd played first grade at 15. I mean, that's unbelievable. The thing I remember about Shane when he turned up, it reminded me of Michael Bevan when he first turned up. Your athleticism, you're running across the ground, you're coming into bowl, your batting was, always scoring shots, a lot of energy. And to watch him, Michael Bevan and Shane were the first 2 people I saw in my whole life that could run after a ball, pick it up, jump in the air and turn around in the air and fucking throw it in over the stumps. So I tried that once, pulled a fucking hammy up the top of me, right, oh, fucking won't be doing it. But they could just sprint, grab the ball, jump. spin in midair, and hoy it in straight over the stump. So the athleticism and the injection, when young blokes like Shano come in and they're doing all that shit, the old blokes go, "No, we better up the ante. We can't have this young prick, putting us to shame and stuff like that." So we knew he had some chops, and it's just sort of developing it from there at that level, because Shane will tell you, I think he was standing back a long way in that first grade game. No, he wasn't. You start playing with the big boys and you go, it's just another level.
I was going to ask you, Shane, on that, like when you came into the side, like how long before you realised, like, and you're surrounded by all these great players, how did you mentally adjust to that?
It probably took like anything, until you score runs or take wickets at any level.
Yeah,
you don't really think you're good enough.
No,
I don't think it's everyone's natural.
You've got to have that performance.
Yeah, and once you get one away, you go, okay, well now I'm going to do it again and do it again and do it again. But I was so lucky coming into that New South Wales side that had all these experienced players like Whit and Greg Matthews, and Jeff Lawson was around then, and these sort of guys.
The War Twins were still there.
The
Bevan,
War Twins, Tubby,
Tub Taylor,
Slater was coming on the scenes. It was Phil Emery, the slink, the slink. Yeah, Wayne Cracker Holsworth, the dog with two dicks.
The smoking cracker.
It was
Great
an
names.
unbelievable team, and a lot of experience, and they really taught me how lucky you were to play for New South Wales.
Yeah,
and I still believe that right till today. It was one of the great honours of my life.
Greatest state, province or county in the history of the cricket.
game.
We say that, and I heard that from Peter Philpott in the early 80s when he was coaching. You go, how can we actually say that? Well, we can.
Yeah.
Because this is the hardest domestic competition in the world. We've won the most shields by 20, haven't we?
Yep.
20 more shields in Victoria, I think, is second best. The most test representatives from our state. The most test captains from our state. And if you look at our state, I was talking to Jeff Lawson the other day, I think he said we've got 33 other players playing around the states.
Yeah.
And the women have got like 50 other players.
Wow.
So we've got another 2 teams out there playing within other states.
And I suppose by the time Shane came into the side, because you've talked about, was it 82, 83 when you won against Western Australia at the Wacker? So that was the first time you'd won the Shield in, 20 years? So you'd had, by the time Shane's come in the side,
Was
there's
10
like
years
10
later,
years of like
and mate,
success.
We'd really developed. We won in 82, 3, 84, 5, 5, 6, 9, 0, 2, 3.
Yep.
Your first year in, we won.
Yeah.
So
3-4.
we'd learned how to win.
Yep.
And we're telling the young blokes to come in. You want to come into this side, it's pretty aggressive.
Yep.
You better fucking aim up and do your job because we're winners.
Yeah.
And they all learnt that. And then there was a very successful period
well,
after that as well when I retired.
It wasn't, you didn't come in, at least when I started, hoping we could win. We were expected to win.
Yep.
And it was an expectation, right? And you had to, it was pressure, but it was good pressure.
Mike Widow was talking about his passion about playing against Queensland and WA. Who did you hate to love to play?
Well, everyone used to say Victoria were our sort of rivals, but for me it was Queensland.
Yeah. He
Queensland,
growls every time you say Queensland. It's a big growl there.
Yeah.
And the Western Australia.
Yeah, the West Australians, we'd go there and get flogged, and vice versa. They'd come over here and we'd own their butts over here. But for me it was always against Queensland because they had a lot of guys sort of. Well, they were sort of second tier at that stage, you know. But a lot of them became good Test careers, like Hayden's and Stuart Law was a great cricketer in the end, and Jimmy Marr and Martin Love should have played a lot more Test cricket.
Yeah,
great. He's one of the hardest guys I ever bowled to.
Yeah.
And then I had Casper and Bick and Big Mocker was playing when I started. They were a very, very good side. But they'd always have a beer afterwards. Queenslanders.
Oh, good off the field.
Yeah, very
just
good.
on the field.
Talking about that, do you remember your first Shield game? Because Whit has told the story about your first Shield game, and
which was against
Doug Walters,
Queensland
and Doug Walters,
at
and
the
going
Gabba.
out for a few drinks afterwards with Doug.
Well, he was my hero.
What, because of his drinking?
No. I mean, that all played into it, I think, when I was a kid, because my old man loved to drink and to smoke as well, and Dougie, and a punt and the cards. And I had poster of him on my wall with DK Lilly, Rod Marsh, and Greg Chappell. They were the 4 posters I had up. Do you think I could believe that I got picked in my first game and it was Doug's last season and he was still playing?
Wow.
I couldn't even, Shano, I couldn't look at him in the dressing room at the Gabba. I didn't want him to look at, check me, checking him out. It was like I was looking at a fucking caricature in the corner. I just couldn't believe it.
It's amazing if you think about how Dougie's outlived guys like Steve Jones and Warney and Andrew Simons.
Unbelievable.
And Rod Marsh, we lost some great cricketers in the last few years. And Dougie's just chugging along.
The legend.
He dies. Him and cockroaches left. I reckon. There's a nuclear bomb.
So for me, it was obviously Rick McCosco was captain then. Doug Walters was playing. Lenny Pascoe was playing. Dutchie Holland was playing. These are the guys.
Yeah.
I just could not absorb that I was actually in the nets or in the 12. Who was it for you when you played your first couple of games?
Well, it was Mark Waugh and Steve Waugh. I remember batting with Mark Waugh for the first times. I sort of tried to copy like how he.
Was it because they were brothers? And
The Lee brothers and the Waugh brothers taking over the world.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, but I remember batting with Mark, and I came into bat. It was a game I think it was in Tasmania, and Mark was on about 40. I came to bat 5, and he clips the first ball off his pads, and I was just watching him, and he got run out first ball.
Yeah, thinking what a great shot.
Honestly, I did. And I said, sorry, mate. He goes, what are you fucking doing? And I said, I was just watching you guys. Well, you can be watching from the fucking change room.
I only batted with Mark a couple of times, but got to watch him for 10 years. Like, wow.
Yeah. And Steve, to bat with Steve, he was, Steve really, he was, I like Tugger, he really would pump you up, but unfortunately, a few times he pumped me up too much. He'd give you too much belief. And he used to get angry about, there was some guy called Josh Marquette playing for Tasmania. And, and Mark Waugh said he's the worst first-class cricketer he's ever seen.
So when they have that opinion of someone, the Waugh brothers, they just want to go out there and belt the shit out of them or bounce the shit out of the batsman. Oh, yeah.
And they had a Pommy guy, I think he's from Essex, playing for Tasmania. I can't remember his name at the time, but he had pink socks on. And and Steve Waugh was batting, and he got dropped from the test side. He came back, and he ended up getting 200, and they had 4 guys on the point fence, and he kept
beating them.
Keep beating them, mate. Oh, mate, he was hitting the ball hard.
And what did he say to the bloke with the pink socks on?
I just said,
I've come back from Test cricket to see a prick with pink socks on.
Dents in the fence down there everywhere.
Don't worry, Shano. Even though I have that old crew that I talk about, I say to people this. Oh, and I played with Mark and Steve Waugh for 10 years. And Mark Taylor.
Yeah.
And Moe Matthews, like all those fucking legends. Yeah.
Talking of the Blues, Mercantile Mutual Cup, the sign.
Yes.
We know the story, but you
tell us the story
against the Canberra Comets.
Yeah, against Canberra Comets. So Steve Waugh was the first one to ever hit the Mercantile Mutual sign. It was in Perth.
It was double.
$140,000.
$140,000.
So we spoke about it pre-season if we would divide the money up, and we decided we would as a team, but we didn't know how to do it. So Steve came up with some formula. And he took 1/12 for himself off the top.
This is typical Tugger. Comes up with a Tugger formula.
He's still got the cash too. And they divided the next 80% for the guys within the 12, and then pro rata the last 20% went to guys who played a few games, right? So when I hit it, I remember thinking it was $90,000.
Now hang on, let me get you the shot. You've played the shot, and it's on the way.
Yep.
When did you think, oh, fuck, this is a chance?
Well, I was back with Rodney Davison. I yelled at halfway that we got the fucking cash.
The horse. Horse, we've got the cash.
And went bang straight in the middle.
Now, Dave doesn't say a lot. He's pretty quiet, the horse, isn't he? Yeah, that's right.
A little pony.
Yeah.
But
you thought about halfway, Jesus, it's close.
It was never missing. Never missing. I'd like to say I aimed for it, but I didn't. But,
was Murph playing for the Comets at this stage or not?
He might have been.
It might have been. He wasn't bowling. Some guy wasn't that quick to bowl the ball. But
sorry, back to hitting the sign. And
So then,
so you hit the sign. The crowd goes berserk.
Crazy. So I thought, what did I think I got about $11,000 from the time Steve Waugh hit it, and I couldn't remember at the time what I'd spent that $11,000 on. So I decided, and I announced it on.
Did you have a girlfriend then or a wife?
No girlfriend.
Yeah, that's
perfect.
Gone. Yeah.
I would have kept it all for a wife. Should have made me. Love it. But then I decided I'm going to take the whole team. Had $90,000. I could take the whole squad, all 30 guys to Hawaii.
Hawaii, that's right. I remember this story.
Yeah, and I announced it on TV.
Because you tried to get onto that trip.
Yeah, manager.
Now, unfortunately, a few of the guys' partners ring up saying you're not going to Hawaii. But I thought, what great memories you get. Everyone there, the whole squad, everyone from old Merv Serres, the room attendant, right through to Paddy Fart, the physio.
Yeah.
It would have been one of the great trips we'd still be talking about now.
Absolutely.
But Michael Bevan, unfortunately, he wasn't playing that game, and he went to the cricket board and made a complaint because under Steve Waugh's model, he would have got $600.
Now, quietly, we've just got to say too, Bevo loves $1.
Mate.
Him and Jimmy Jack would go well together.
Jimmy Jack, it's hard to get a shout out of Bev. We love him, great player, but he loved $1.
If you ever having trouble sleeping, have lunch with him.
Yeah. We love you, Pilton.
He can sing, can't he?
He can sing,
He can sing.
But anyway, so the board sort of called me in and said to me, we strongly suggest that you do what Steve Waugh did because you do want to be New South Wales captain one day. So
you better put the captain's formula.
Yeah.
If you want to be captain, you better use Tugger's formula.
And I should have did what Mike Hussey did and kept it all. But no, I did what Steve Waugh did, and luckily enough, I was the 100th captain of New South Wales. That's a good end of that story.
So how was the night after the game in Canberra? Would have been huge.
Yeah, it was good fun, mate. It was great memories. But see, the thing is now that I don't even remember who was actually in that New South Wales team.
Wow.
And I guaranteed if we went to Hawaii, I'd know
You'd remember every single moment.
He'd have some great stories,
Mate,
too.
that's a 1 hour after dinner speaking gig, just going to Hawaii with the team.
Yeah, there you go. Lost money there.
Yep.
So moving on to your selection in the Australian one-day side, and that's a massive moment in your career.
Yeah, I was Bevo had been dropped, and we were up in Coffs Harbour on one of those Tooheys Cup games.
Yep.
I think we were sponsored by CUB then, but so we're up there, and then we got the call up. I was only 22, and Neil Maxwell, who was a teammate of mine, and also the New South Wales cricket marketing manager at the time, got a call, and Maxie was actually playing quite well. But he's also managing me. I got the call and said, Neil, where are you? He said, I'm in Coffs Harbour. He said, you there with Bevo? He said, yeah, he's been called up to the Australian team and I've got some good news as well. And Neil thought he was in the team. He goes, no, Shane's in the team. So Neil had to come and tell me.
Like this, I'm really excited for you.
And that was a big night too, celebrating. And then we went straight to Adelaide. And I remember getting to my hotel room and walking in and all my yellow Aussie one-day gear.
Canary yellow, yeah.
I remember putting it on in the change and in your hotel room, and
you must have looked good, eh?
Oh, fantastic! But
it's a
I know.
It's a moment.
I'm being serious,
and just getting down to training for the first time, there's people watching you train. There's a real buzz around Adelaide, and it was against the West Indies, and it was a really, really special moment.
That coloured gear,
because
when I played my first couple of Test matches, there wasn't even logos on the no Australian cricket board, nothing like that. It was just complete. My first one-dayer, same thing. Got the yellow kit, the yellow hat. You're looking at it, and it's amazing.
It is. It's awesome. It's great.
And then you go to training.
And
there's all these superstars there that you just fucking read about and played a few
quickly
games
before
against.
you go on. The hat presentation, do they do it something special?
No, they weren't doing it then.
No, not in my day either.
No.
So we think that's just fantastic, mate. What a great thing for some young guy or chick, doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl, getting presented that cap by a legend of the game to say your number so-and-so, man, and this is what we expect out of you, go for it.
Yep.
Big moment.
Number 124 I was in one-day cricket. Rickey Ponting was 125. There you go.
Wow. Can I just ask, the coloured stuff, when did that come in? Who came up with that? It wasn't Kerry, was it?
World Series.
Yeah.
It was it?
Yeah.
Someone, did they find out who actually said, Kerry, this is what we need to do, bring in with the coloured?
Not sure, but it was all around World Series. Yeah,
it was all around World
the
Series.
West Indies wearing pink then, weren't they?
They were, and then they went to sort of a brownie, a different darky brown colour. Yeah, that didn't make them bowl slower, but
No way.
No.
Well, so that first game against the West Indies, that would have been chock full of West Indies legends, I suppose. Curtly Ambrose and Courtney Walsh, those blokes, was it?
It was Ambrose, Patterson and Walsh, and I batted 7. We batted first, Adelaide Oval, and I always wore a helmet back then. And for whatever reason, I thought, I want to get my face on TV. So I can get it. So I could pull a root that night, right?
How's that?
Adelaide, not a bad town either.
Yeah, and so I walked out to bat against, I remember I was taking centre and Patrick Patterson's bowling, and fuck, this is probably not a good idea. I'm not going to pull one with no teeth, but it worked out all right. I got 39 runs off about 22 balls.
Yeah.
And
But those blokes would have seen some bloke coming out on his first game without a helmet. They must have gone, fuck this, I'm going to go for you, mate.
Patrick, And the drama about Patrick was he was quick, but he actually didn't know where they were all going.
You just saw the bottom of his foot.
Mate, his big foot was right in your face, and then one down the leg side, then an unplayable.
Yep.
Then one down the leg side again. You just didn't know where he was going.
Because I remember you kept taking your gloves off and going like that with your hair. And I thought, what's he doing now? I know what's happening.
And Patrick's going, who is this young man? No helmet. Yeah.
And did it work for you? How'd you go after that game on the circuit? Good.
I just went to the casino and had a little punt, then moved on. Yeah. Beautiful. That's a moment, isn't it, but playing your first game?
Yeah, it's
really a culmination of everything you've done as a kid to make it.
And look, a lot of the guys I played with at Oak Flats, they all came down to watch, and it was a special moment. You know, Mum and Dad watching at home, but you got your whole school and your family and where you grew up, people supporting you. Yep. You quickly realise what it means to a lot of people. Not only to yourself,
Yeah, and you're in a couple of World Cup squads too, one-day squads.
Yeah, 96 World Cup, and then 99 when we won in England. Two amazing moments in my life. And I talk about the 99 World Cup where I was 12th man in the final, but it's still the greatest moment in my sporting career. You know, Rickey Ponting was leading the team song then, and we waited till everyone had gone home, and in the change room on the day, the Rolling Stones came in.
Wow.
And, I remember sitting next to Charlie Watts, and Brendan Julian goes, "Who's that old bloke next to you?" I said,
BJ.
I said, "That's Charlie Watts." He goes, "Who's he?" I said, "He's the drummer of the Rolling Stones." He said, "No way, man! I thought it was someone's grandfather."
BJ did he?
He fucking did, yeah. Hilarious.
Oh, I'll have to remind him of that the next time I see him.
Didn't know Charlie Watts
But
was.
they're all, I tell you, they are cricket tragics, man. Like the Stones, a lot of the musicians, a lot of the politicians, they're cricket. Just for them to be in the dressing room is an amazing experience. And like you say, it's fucking Charlie Watts sitting next to me. You know?
Just quickly, when we had Tristan Hay on, a guy who was in Las Vegas, who came on the podcast, and he looked after the Rolling Stones kids when they came out in the teenage years. And I think Charlie Watts they got Alan Border to come down to Sydney.
Yeah. Charlie and Mick.
Concerts. They wanted to meet Alan Border.
Mick and Charlie asked AB to come down especially this year because we want to meet you. You're such a legend.
How good's that?
Incredible.
Imagine that.
Godfather.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at the side. Sorry to interrupt everyone. I'm just looking at the side. The
World Cup side?
Yeah. It's just like...
Mate, Pistol was Paul Reiffel was an outstanding...
Can you believe it? Was he always going to be an umpire?
No. He hated cricket. He does. Yeah, I can't believe he's an umpire. Like,
do you reckon he was lazy and just likes to make some money?
He was laconic. He was laconic and very he moved slower than
man of very few words.
Cricket stump, see if he was moving.
Yeah, Pistol, wasn't he?
Yeah,
great trundler, buddy. Really good bowler, mate.
Yeah, who else was in that side?
Who's Stuart Law?
Oh, he's a good player.
Was he a good player?
Yeah, for Queensland.
Queenslander, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
He played a lot of cricket in England for Lancashire, Stuart Law, and all my Lancashire friends used to ring me up and go, how's this guy Stuart Law not in the test side? But it was really, really difficult.
No test average, Stuart Law, you know that? He'd never got out in test cricket. I think
Stuart Law?
He's got no test average, he got 52 and 96.
Not out.
Not out. The game that Rickey Ponting also debuted, he got 96, Rickey, in that test match. But, no test average.
Fine player, Stuart.
Look at that bowling team, please.
Fleming, McGrath, Shane Warne, McDermott and Reiffel. That's not a bad setup, is it?
That's not bad, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway.
Great moments, but
sorry, Dawsey.
The World Cup. The World Cups. I played in the 92 World Cup, which was here, and we didn't do good. We really didn't have enough preparation coming out of an Indian 5-test thing. But when you're with the squad and you're locked in for weeks with the squad and the preparation of going into it, and you're moving around and all the other teams are there in the World Cup, it's exciting to be a part of, isn't it?
Oh, it was huge. And just getting back to where I was saying, I remember Rickey Ponting leading the team song. We went out in the middle of Lords. So everyone's gone home. It's pitch black. You're at the home.
And sat on the square.
You're all praying.
Yeah. And Rickey got on big Tom Moody's shoulders and he did the team song, which goes, underneath the Southern Cross I stand, a sprig of wattle in my hand, a native of a native land, Australia, you fucking beauty. Second verse, same as the first.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, mate, I'll get goosebumps when I tell that story. But we did that song 3 or 4 times in the middle of Lords, the middle of the night, with your mates, and you've just won a World Cup. It was doesn't get any better than that.
This is where we're so grateful. Those moments you cannot replicate.
No, you can't.
That's a one-off ever in your life.
Yep.
You think about it now, you go, man, how amazing. Yeah. You can't replicate them.
How good could the celebration have been even better? So what happened? when you celebrate anything really good?
Pretty cool sitting on the square at Lords.
Was there anything else
there was
afterwards?
Yeah, a couple of things happened
you can
later.
Kind of just let us know about.
We were sponsored by Emirates. There's a lot of hosties there.
Yeah. Were they friendly? Were they showing you around and that? And
they did. The exercise here and there.
Did you guys then show them around?
The boys actually told me that they got the Emirates girls to take their hats off.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for them. You know, they wear those.
Yeah.
They got the
Wow.
Emirates girls to take their hats off.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, that was very nice of you guys that asked them to do that.
Yeah.
Did they take anything
we are gentlemen.
else? Oh,
Yeah, just the hats.
Yeah.
Just the hats. Just the hats.
Leave your shoes on.
Yeah, leave your shoes on.
On the Test cricket, you came very close to Test selection as well. Was it the '97 Ashes tour? You almost got a start.
Yeah, I got called up like Whit did from the Lancashire League. Got the call to go down to Kent to play the last county game. Mark Taylor was the captain. He then decided, he said to me, it's pretty much going to be a bowl-off. Sean Young was playing county cricket that year. I was only playing league cricket. He was playing for Gloucester or something. And he was an all-rounder. I was quicker than him.
Tasmania,
yeah. He was a good bat too.
Yeah,
but, and he was a steady bowler.
Yeah.
But they basically, Mark Taylor said, whoever gets the most wickets in this county game, I know you both can bat, we'll play the next test, the last test at the Oval.
You can't say that to someone, can you?
And then Mark Taylor went off and played golf. Steve Waugh was captain. But I took my best ever first-class figures. I took 4 for 32 and 4 for 50. He took 8 for the match.
That's big. That's huge.
And Sean Young got 0 wickets. He played the next test.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, which ripped my heart out, actually. It was...
It would be.
I always thought, come with the hour, come with the man. And but Tubby, even though we didn't watch the match, he thought that it was a bit easy for me just to stroll in and get it. He wanted to maybe earn it a bit more.
Yeah.
As it turned out, I never got another chance. So, but look,
hang on, you took 8 for in the match.
Yeah, yeah.
What you got to earn more than that?
Yeah, I know.
You prick, Tub.
Yeah,
mate. We're going to get him on here.
Man, Tub. We'll get Tubby on here. You fucked up Shano.
Yeah.
Fucking game in England.
it was a flat wicket too.
I'm putting that down.
How many seasons in Lancashire did you play? Because I want to talk a bit.
Just the one.
Who was that with?
That was with Accrington.
Yeah.
Accrington, yeah. No, sorry, Enfield.
Oh, yeah.
Buzzer was Accrington.
Yeah.
But I played the year before that. I played for Somerset.
That's right.
Yeah. And then I played a county season with Worcester.
Now, you had a big year, one of those county seasons, and you scored 1,000 plus, and
yeah, scored 1,800 runs at 80 or something. For Somerset, they were paying. I remember at the time, Steve always said, "Just go over and get experience." I said, "What's a good deal?" And the pound was about 3 to 1 then. They offered me £30,000 plus your business class airfare, and I thought that's not a lot, right? And Steve always said, "Just put your bonuses in," and they didn't know I could bat because they only saw me playing one day cricket and you're batting 8. Right, so they assumed I couldn't bat at all. So they said, if you get so many wickets, you get an extra £5,000, blah blah blah. But then I said, what if I get 500 first class runs? I said, well, you won't get that. And they said, we'll give you 10,000.
Oh, the challenge!
And it went up. So I got 1,800 runs. So I almost put him into receivership. I came back and bought a house in the water in Clontarf. Never invited back, funny enough.
They go like this. We're glad he's scoring some runs, but it's costing us a fucking fortune.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How could they not have known that you couldn't bat?
No. The coach was a guy called Bob Cottam, who was a fast bowler, played for England a few games.
Yeah,
and,
just like me, typical fast bowler.
That's all he did.
Fuck the batsman.
That's right, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go back?
Well, Mushtaq Ahmed was their pro, who I replaced that year. And so they wanted him back because he took 100 wickets the year before. Mushy.
Yeah.
So I didn't go back. I went and played just county cricket the following year, and that's the year I got called up for the potential Ashes match. And then I went back in 2002 and just filled in for Andy Bickle 6 months at Worcester, which was good fun as well.
Great bloke, PK.
He's a good bloke, mate.
Wonderful man.
Top
Big,
man.
good bowler too.
Strong.
Very strong, running for you all day.
Never wrestle with him or Casper Witz when I've had a few beers. They got fucking Mongo strength, those guys.
Now, even though they're from Queensland, they're bloody good blokes. And great bowlers, mate.
They've all got Mongos.
Great bowlers, both those blokes, mate. They bowled their hearts out for Queensland and Australia when they got the opportunity. Love them both.
Yeah.
So that's when you retired. Was it 2002 at 29? I think?
Yeah, because I injured my knee.
How bad was it?
Well, I basically got no cartilage left on the right-hand side of my right knee. So my back foot would land side onto the crease. So it's basically bone on bone. So what they tried to say, Paddy Fart tried to get me to do the physio, was to try and turn my foot from parallel to the bowling crease to front on, like Glenn McGrath or Brett did.
Yep.
And after doing it for 29 years, well, not 29 years, I was blind for 29 years, but after my whole career, I just couldn't do it.
You can't. It's too.
Paddy Fart. What was his name?
Paddy Farhat.
Oh, sorry.
The hairiest man ever.
Farhut.
Mate, he walked out of the shower once just with a towel around him, Paddy Farhat, and just a towel around his waist. And Brad McNamara said, "If you don't put a collar on, you won't get in." Looked like you had a jumper on.
And he should talk, eh?
And the physio, he was our physio, and ended up being with 2 or 3 others I can mention, one of the greatest cricket physios ever in the world. Paddy.
Because he massaged really well in that.
It did everything really well, right? Yeah. See that low voice? Paddy, big Lebanese bloke, used to be a fast bowler.
Yep.
Played for West.
Yep.
And was nasty. So he understood the game, and he understood mentally where you were as well, and understood cricket injuries, because our injuries are not the same as for other games, like a lot of hands and stuff like that. But what a great bloke.
Yeah, and still now is probably the best physio in the world, does the IPL. Very, very highly sought after.
Yep.
So how is your knee?
But it's totally fine now. It doesn't...
No operation, no knee replacement?
I know a good surgeon. I can...
Well, they cut my ITB. It's a thing that goes up the side of your legs called the iliotibial band.
That's the iliotibial band.
Yeah.
Thank you, champ.
Mate, mine was that tight. They did the first ever, let's cut it. Just cut it off. Just try
Right,
to
it was
lose.
that tight here.
That tight, yeah.
Coming from your knee.
Yeah.
And they just went ping.
Yeah, ping, cut it. So I feel like I've been stabbed in the side of the leg for about 6 weeks. But after that, it's fine now. So I could play tennis or golf, or I'm not running on hard surfaces. But it's fine now. I don't get any pain at this stage. Touch wood.
So around that time,
I know, mate. I know. Look at how Whit's.
No, you're not young, but compared to me, you're still young.
Yeah.
So around that time too, onto music, you're a member, of course, of Six and Out with a few of other cricket boys. And so was that late 99 you started, or 2000? When did that happen?
No, we sort of 93, 94. Gavin Robertson's always been a really good drummer. Robbo, yeah, we love Robbo. And then I started to learn guitar. Cheeks has been half. What's he? Half Samoan, half Chinese. Samoan body, Chinese penis. Bad combination.
They're always singing.
He's a good front man. He's got the right personality.
He has. He's our Asian Mick Jagger. He's a legend. And he sings a bit. So we needed a bass player. So Brett learnt bass, and then I taught Brad McNamara guitar. So he's our lead guitarist
Hang on.
now.
Prior to that, you guys hadn't played musical instruments?
No, I picked up a guitar when I was about 22.
And just mucking around.
Yeah.
And Binger hadn't played bass?
On tour. So when you went on tour?
It's went on tour. And then we needed a bass. So Brett actually just bought a bass and learnt the bass so he could be in the band.
He goes all right for a bloke who just picked it up.
Yeah.
So,
Fucking that shits me.
Yeah, me too,
I fucking do anything. I just pick the bass up and
years.
learn how to play bass to be in the band. I'm hard up remembering the words to the song.
But I tell you, it was unbelievable. We got signed by EMI Records, and we were pretty shit, to be honest. We're a decent band now. We've probably played over 500 gigs. Yeah.
You reckon they signed you because they had a look? There's
India.
cricket heads in India.
And we did the album launch in front of the music industry. Now you have to remember, this is pre sort of YouTube really kicking off, where people can actually do their own thing now, record their own music. Back then you couldn't. You had to be signed by a record label.
Correct.
This is prior to even Australian Idol, where we were getting a leg up above the music industry, and they hated us. And we did it live in front of the whole music industry. It was one of the most nerve-wracking things in my life.
I hated you.
Oh yeah, well you would have, And
was it Darling Harbour somewhere?
And it was because of that. It was perceived that you jumped a few rungs. They're fucking cricket players who think they can play in a band.
That's right. It's all bullshit, right?
Wow.
And they're probably right to some extent. But I remember being at the album launch, and my mum and dad were there. And remember old Col Joye, the old crooner?
Yeah, legend.
He was there, and my mum goes, "Is that Col Joye?" And
she would have loved it.
And I saw my mum fangirling a bit over it. My dad goes, "Col Joye." Anyway, so I bring Col over.
Because he was Kevin Jacobson's brother, and Kevin Jacobson was the guy that organised all the tours and stuff like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were brothers. And Jacobson wasn't going to go well, so he changed his name to Joy. Col Joye. He was Col Jacobson,
Yeah.
Well, so I introduced him to my mum, and mum goes, "Oh, we used to watch your Balgownie RSL," and like, mum was really fangirling, right?
Balgownie RSL.
Yeah. Anyway, so I walked back over, and Gav Robinson goes, "You all right?" I was sort of ashen-faced, and I said, "Oh, no, I just introduced my mum to Col Joye, and she was fangirling." He goes, "Oh, don't worry, my mum fucked him."
I'd
We are not cutting that out. We're not cutting it at all.
The joy.
Shano, I don't pull the headphones off too often. I just did then.
I think you've wrecked them. What have you done with
New headphones? I think I need a beer now.
Mate. That's
brilliant.
So how did it go in front of the music industry?
Look, it went okay, but it just like
don't hit a wrong note.
Oh, I know, and it's just singing harmonies and that. Well, I still find it that tough, but it was like after that many gigs now. Like, I honestly say we're a bloody good band, right? Good pub band, and some of the special moments, and the reason we've recently just come back and started to play because. Now, Gav Robertson was diagnosed with a brain tumour.
Yeah.
He was given 2 years to go, 2 years to live 4 years ago by Charlie Teo.
Yep.
And then Robert had a seizure probably about 6-8 months ago.
Right.
Which means, but Robert's got the one that's coming back, right? And so we just thought we should play, and we always make excuses why not to play. And life's too short, right? So we said, fuck it, let's get back and play. And we played the Gershwin Room, the Espy. After the Boxing Day test, we played the Paddo RSL. After the Sydney test, and we went to Adelaide for the great gig we did down there, Dorso. And it's been really, really good. And I'm a bit pissed off at myself. We haven't done it more in the years. We always make excuses, and I think sometimes in life you just got to go bugger it. Let's just do it. Get out there and enjoy it. Make some more memories.
Now that you're back, it's been like two parts to the story with a 10-year break in the middle. Yeah. And that first part. I mean, you made that record, can't fucking bowl. That went up the charts.
Yeah, 99 with the bullet.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you did a lot of gigs, and then it all sort of went down, and now you've made a comeback. It seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brett's the hardest one to track down. He's the busiest. He's all over. So it seemed like you were just sort of following the test match where, what a great idea.
Yeah, what a great idea. I think we're going to try and do as long as we can now. And
mate, you should be doing 5 tests around Australia, whatever. Any test match, 1-day games.
Yeah, it's
what a great idea.
It's really special, and we've all been playing enough at home or whatever, and now we're a bit older. We're not getting hammered too before we play, which also probably sound. Maybe are we sounding better? I'm not sure, but
I want to mention this name because he gets mentioned every now and again. But he's in the band, a fucking legend. Buzzard, Brad Buzzard McNamara, the
Buzzard, what a legend!
What a legend!
Well, he taught me to bowl in one-day cricket, Buzzard. I learned a lot from him in one-day cricket. I learned a lot from him off the field too, but that's for another podcast.
That is another podcast. I roomed with him a couple of times.
But we used to call him Squeaky McNamara because he'd always turn his guitar on and it'd squeak and squeal and folding feedback. And we used to put him behind a pole, right? But now he's out. There's no pole anymore. He's playing. Isn't he, Dawson?
He goes all right.
He's playing well.
He goes and he loves it. You can tell he's up there having fun. And so.
He's playing all the time. And but as far as one-liners go, he's
the man.
He's fucking hilarious.
He's the man. I got to play a lot of cricket with Buzzard, and when we'd lose our test players, he was one of the guys who would come fill in.
Yeah,
pretty good fill in. I mean, outstanding.
52 12th man.
Is that right?
Well,
Is that right?
Yeah.
But mate could bat and bowl.
At least he's good tourist.
Super competitive. Yeah. Ended up being the executive producer of the cricket at Channel 9.
Yep.
When that got lost to 7, he moved over to Fox. He's executive producer of that, playing music. King of the one-liners, one of the funniest blokes.
Yeah.
I've just got to be in his company. Buzzard.
Yeah, he's a good man.
He goes like this. Big Roy, I'm laughing at that stage.
Yeah. Well, my wife Lorraine always says that whenever I catch up with Cheeks and Buzzard, she said I laugh in my sleep.
Yeah.
I laugh for 3 days afterwards.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But what about your acting? Now, I've seen that you were in Martial Law, in Neighbours, in 05. Is that when you had a break? I think you were in Underbelly and then had another break.
Have you got the right Lee?
Yeah.
This is Shane Lee. Who are you talking about?
Shane Lee.
It's another fucking Shane Lee.
Yeah, that's not right.
Oh, but Bevan Lee was the co-creator. Do you know? Is that why you got? No, it's not.
It's a different bloke, mate.
Sorry.
You did all that research last night. It's fucking not the same Shane Lee.
Up till 2 this morning.
Yeah.
Scratch that, Ray.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a picture of the Shane Lee that's done the acting.
We did Peter Beattie, the Premier of Queensland, ex-Premier Queensland, Commissioner on the Rugby League. He thought he was the actor, fucking Beattie from... Warren Beattie from Shampoo. What was it? Hairdresser, that movie.
What's the...
I had to say to Ray, in front of Peter Beattie...
You're so vain.
Yeah.
That song's about him, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had to say to Ray, It's not fucking. It's Peter.
It's really embarrassing.
Yeah, that's right.
He always
Not
calls me
Warren
up on
Beatty.
that. Okay.
I've been called worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fug,
Fug, yeah. That's dark.
which is your nickname.
Yep.
Well,
Fug Lee, yeah.
Well, I sort of half remember that. He was such a handsome, athletic young man. We just couldn't give him. So we thought, fucking ugly. Fucking ugly. There he is, and it's stuck. Fugly. Fug.
Yeah.
And talking of podcasts, you've been in the podcast game for quite a while.
Yeah.
That's why we want. That's really why we want you here. We want all your secrets.
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's any secrets. I think it's just been authentic.
How long?
So I started Lunch with Lee about 3.5 years ago, about 170 shows there.
Do you reckon that was just at the cusp when things were getting exciting about podcasts?
Yeah, it was. It was the reason I did. I've got three passions in life: it's sport, music, and business. So on lunch
and food
and food, yeah, and lunch.
Yeah,
that's my fourth one. And I thought, how can I get paid to go to lunch? And I fucking cracked the model.
Champion.
Yeah, so it's been great. And like my last one was with Robbie Williams, actually.
Yeah.
Interviewed the great singer Robbie Williams.
Monaco, wasn't it? At the back of a boat somewhere?
On a super yacht in Monaco. There you go. That sounds like I'm bragging
fucking
there, but
prick.
No, please
You
tell
prick.
us.
yeah,
I'm really pissed off that you're telling that story.
yeah,
I'm very jealous.
It's amazing.
And can I just interrupt? We've got a Naughty 90 show that's going to premiere on Saturday night, and we're doing a couple of Robbie Williams songs. Yeah,
Good.
What are they again? Angel.
Let me entertain you.
Let me entertain you.
Let me entertain you,
Yeah.
Angel. Yeah.
I did-
So
Best Monday performer, I reckon, Robbie.
Oh,
Yep.
fabulous.
Yeah.
I did one of Tugger's early charity things, and we had the people in the dressing room. This is a fair few years ago now, it might be 10 years ago, but Robbie was performing next door, and everybody that went to this special dinner with Tugger, only about 25 people, and cost them $1. Then we moved next door and watched Robbie Williams, and we were right there. He was there. I've never been into that sort of music. I'm a bit more hardcore rock and roll, as you know. But, mate, what a performance. All night. He brought a mate of his from England that he'd grown up with on stage and introduced him to everybody. You know, this is Johnny. Grew up with him in England, you know, one of my mates. And Johnny's standing there going, fuck, I'm here at the SCG. Yes, I reckon Robbie is backed out. Amazing
Guy. I remember I asked him.
What was it like?
Yeah, he was great. I asked him off air. I said, "Do you want a beer, mate?" It was on a super yacht, right? And
what did he say? No, but I'll have a line.
Well, he said, I haven't had a drink for 25 years. I said, mate, I'm going to call you on that. I met you. You're in a pub when I was with the Aussie cricket team probably about 20 years ago in London, and you're on your own, and you sculled a pint of beer, then you started to eat the pint glass. And he said, I may have fallen off the wagon a few times.
Did you find him like a decent bloke?
Mate, I found him such a down-to-earth guy, really interested, like, he's one of those people that look straight through you. Like they're looking into your soul, and they want to know about you and what makes you tick. We spent a lot of time talking about it. He's a different man now than he probably was. I would love to interview him 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, this is when my friend Tanya Zayeda was living in London and became pretty close with Robbie, but she said the same thing. Lovely guy, but just every now and again went really crazy.
Yeah.
But really lovely guy. But that was 25 years ago.
Yeah, but look, he's just a really nice bloke, and talked about his kids and that sort of stuff, and but he's a good storyteller and performer, and he's got one of those few guys in my life that I met. You had Shane Warne. Shane Warne had a little aura about him. Yeah. Mick Jagger, when he walked in the change room at Lord's, aura around him. And Robbie's one too. He's got that sort of extra bit of light around him. What was your idea about Lunch with Lee on the podcast? Just to try and talk to people that unusual to talk to? Or? No, I try and get, from my three passions, sport, music and business, I try and get like a sportsman with say with a musician, or a musician with a businessman, have some sort of common thread, right? A bit like... Yep. I try to copy the Graham Norton style show where he pairs different people together and finds a common thread. Very clever. Yep. The underlying thing with Lunch with Lee is about men's health. It's not negative, but we try and, I think as men, we try and self-diagnose a lot. You know, she'll be right. Put your head in the sand. Yep. Fucking don't worry about that. We'll deal with that tomorrow. Yep. I'm tough. I can cop it. Sweet. Yep. So it's not therapy, the show, but it's sometimes just talking about the hard things and just discussing them, and maybe that'll bring some light to it. But a lot of times it's just having a nice long lunch and telling a few good stories, which I like. Yeah. Drinking some of the sponsors' products. 100%. How long do you think that'll go? I mean, you wouldn't have an end marker now. You'll just keep rolling it out. No, well, I was doing a daily podcast too, Afternoon Sport, which I did 1,500 shows there. So I'm taking a couple of months off, and I'm going to get back into it. Probably next month I'll be launching Lunch with Lee again.
Just so people know, if you're going to interview someone, how much research do you put into that?
I do a lot. Yeah,
there you go. So it's not just the hour or so you got them on the podcast. It's hours of research, setting it up, thinking about the line you want to question them and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I generally, for Lunch with Lee, we sort of goes for about 40 minutes. We generally, you've got 2 guests, maybe for 15 questions each, and then you try and work out who goes within.
Yep.
And where those questions fit. But then the art of podcasting is listening too, right? You've got to listen and try and bring it all together if you can.
For sure, for sure. Can we go back to that post-traumatic stress disorder? And that's what you look at, is that right? The PTSD, is that right?
Well, that was one podcast we recorded recently.
Was it Artarmon?
Yeah, that's a Lunch with Lee we haven't released yet. But it's a guy that was a former police officer, mounted police officer, and now has had PTSD himself.
It's like them or the Defence Force people.
Yeah, so he now uses all racehorses in the police. I mean, mounted police horses. They are all
ex-race horses.
Racehorses, right. Yeah. So he uses ex-race horses now for therapy for people with PTSD.
Yeah.
He's doing some really, really good work. His name's Scott Brody.
One of my last stories on Weekender was at a farm where they had ex-race horses and horses that weren't going to be ridden, and they brought people with mental disability, whatever, just to cool out with the horse for the day. And they just said it.
Was that down in Barrel?
No, it was up the Bells Liner Road on the way to Lithgow, about 2/3 of the way along. And the results they were getting from all ages, but they said particularly the kids. And these horses were so cool, and they've got a friend, and they build this bond up, and they go back every second weekend.
Yep.
Fantastic,
Because I think I suffer from that after I saw this girl once, and I just can't...
Where's this going?
Yeah, well, here you go.
I can't.
You reckon you got PTSD, you should see it.
I just can't get...
Ray, everyone who grew up in Matraville grew up fucked up.
Thank you,
mate. Come on, mate.
Thanks, Ray.
David Warner. Have a look at it.
Further.
Have a look. Alan Turner, David Warner, me and Ray.
Yeah.
Go the Maddo boys.
Go the Maddo boys.
But so you've interviewed a heap of blokes on the podcast, so it'd probably be hard to pick, apart from Robbie Williams, some standouts there. Or
Gladys Berejiklian, the only podcast she ever did was on Lunch with Lee. That was a really good one. She was really sweet.
Was she premier then?
Yeah,
or
she was. Yeah, she was. I think I've had about 12 Australian captains, George Gregan, John Eales, Mark Taylor. The list goes on and on. I've had members from In Excess. I've had the producer of the Beatles. I've had some really cool guests. Yeah, very, very lucky. And a lot of this is just out of the lucky network that we have with Cricket Wit. We're blessed there.
So fortunate.
People love the game of cricket.
So fortunate, Shana.
And I always worked out, one of the things was that whenever we met musicians, all the sportsmen want to be musicians,
and all the musos want to be cricketers or sportsmen.
And I worked out why that is, I think. And I said, I think to be really, really good at sport, you have to be somewhat unemotional. And by that I mean you have to be able to do what you do day in, day out, no matter what the game situation is.
Do you know what I call it, Shane? Selfish.
Yeah.
You got to be a bit selfish. You have to.
But to be really, really good in the entertainment game, you have to be totally emotional. So it's the opposites attract, I think.
Yeah. Very good, mate.
Well, we've got a gig down your neck of the woods in June with Widow and Wayne Junior Pearce at Illawarra Yacht Club.
I'll have to come
June.
down.
Yeah, I think end of June, last weekend in June.
Let me know, Dorso. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll get you up, get the guitar out, mate.
Yeah. If you want people to stay, maybe don't.
Yeah. But, mate, we know you're a busy guy. Yep. You got stuff to do today, so we appreciate your time and coming in when we play
when we do this. We go, Shano, what a story.
Thank you,
Thanks, mate.
What a life. I mean, how grateful I'm in the same shoes as you, man.
Look, it's really good, but I just want to say, Whit, mate, you've been an inspiration to me ever since the day I started. You're always nice when I came into that team. I love you, brother.
Because I knew you were good looking. There were girls on there anyway. I love you too, Shano.
Thanks, boys. We appreciate
your
time.
You
got any stories on Whit? Are we going? You got any stories on Whit?
No, that's the end, Ray. We're cutting off.
No, can we?
That's a 2-hour podcast, mate.
No, but have you got anything on him?
No, he's an absolute gentleman.
Thank you, Shano.
Thanks, mate. Over and out. Until next time. Ciao.